Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel. My name is Nidoqueens and I am your coach for the Texan Clearbodies in season number 2 of the Alola International. And this, my friends, is our final week of the season. It's a semi-important week. It's actually a really important week for this for the season because playoff contention for the Texan Clearbodies lies at the result of this game. I will go ahead and say our rival team, Slovenian Slowbros, actually threw their game as a forfeit to -3. So what happens now is if I win at all, which I don't know if that's going to happen, but if I win at all, then I make it to playoffs. Otherwise, the Slovenian Slowbros make it to playoffs because the records that he and I share are the exact same. Coming into week 12, he and I were both 5-6, I believe is what the record was. 5-6 with differential changes. He was what, +7, and I was -6. So the only way for me to make it to playoff contention, top 4 seeds, and is it top 4 or top 8? I can't remember. But the only way for me to make top playoff contention is for me to have an overall record of 6-6. He has a 6-7 record coming out of week 12. My only way to make it out of this is to finish 6-7, or sorry, 6-6 overall. Which means that this week I have to beat Grounded Gliscor, the coach of the Alola Nidoqueens, our week 12 opponent. If you remember our first game, which I'll give you all a couple of seconds to tap out or skip, in case you don't want spoilers, because spoilers in 3, 2, 1, spoilers time. So the last time he and I played was week 2 of the season, so we played about 10 weeks ago, and in that week, Nidoqueens showed us why it was so good. Nidoqueens set up Calm Minds and 6-0'd my face with a Licky wearing my team down. So that core was a lot of difficulty to break, and I considered that notion in team building, which this is our team builder for week 12 as well as our game for week 12 because of time constraints and breeding issues. Grounded and I decided to do this on Showdown. My ICBA week 10 team, my ICBA week 10 match will also be on Showdown. Fun fact. But power outage. Okay. But yeah. So really, shit's power outage. It is not. Okay, so just turn the lights off. Okay. Either way. But yeah, so we will be. Unless it closes 10 on Sunday. I don't think so. I don't know. Sorry about that. But yeah, so we have the team builder and the battle for week 12 going on here. Like I said, our team builder is for the Grounded Gliscor, and the last time he and I played, the speed tier to break was 100. This time the speed tier to break is 95. So now that I've rambled on for a little while and gotten confused for a little while, let's go ahead and jump on into Pokemon Showdown that has our team on it. On the right side of the screen, as always, you have my draft as well as Grounded's modified draft, which Licky is no longer there, and instead he has a Snorlax there for one thing, and there's one other trade on there that I cannot remember off the top of my head, but everything else besides that is the same. He actually traded Licky out to the Slovenian, or to the Dunsparce the Hugh, Hammer Timestone, our week 9 opponent, as well as our week 3 opponent. But that's besides the point. So that's all set and done. So let's go ahead and jump on in to our team. Like I said, on the right side we've got my draft and his draft for you guys to have a better idea of why I decided to bring what I decided to bring, some sets, some speed EVs, things like that. And in case I forget some mons off the top of my head, because you guys can see it, I cannot, so that's a thing. But the first thing we have on our team this week is my Vaporeon. This is my Arcanine check. Realistically, this is also my Kieran Black check, in a sense, which explains the weird defensively even investments. Water Absorb, of course, allows me to suck up water type attacks, if anything fires off a water type attack. There's not a real water type on his team. But with this, I can deal with Arcanine, I can deal with Kieran Black, potentially, and I can also deal with Reuniclus because I have that. HP Grass. Was it HP Grass? I don't remember if it was HP. Oh no, this was supposed to be Hidden Power Fire. I adjusted the IVs earlier. Sorry, this is HP. Nope. Hold on. I'm messing up. 1 second. Scald, Toxic, Shadow Ball, and Hidden Power Fire because I didn't realize it brought it down. Okay, so now we're good. Okay, so let's, and I can also deal with Scizor in a sense. So let me cover this. Rocky Helmet, of course, is to do some chip damage against physical like Flare Blitz. I can die and do some chip damage to Kieran Black. I can do some chip damage to Scizor if it decides to U-turn in my face. I just have a lot of like well-rounded support for a lot of his physical attackers. Body Slam on the Snorlax, for example. I can also chew that up. And do some chip damage to him with the Rocky Helmet. So ultimately, on Vaporeon, Rocky Helmet looked beautiful, so I decided to run it. My Vaporeon level 50 Rocky Helmet. Water Absorb, of course, to suck up water type attacks. Skull is just there to try to burn things. Toxic for things like Gligar. Skull is also there for Gligar, by the way. Toxic for things like Gligar, things like Snorlax, Kieran Black if I can get it on there. But really, his bulky mons, even though I know Snorlax has immunity, in case he doesn't run immunity, in case he runs like Thick Fat, if he wanted to do that for some reason, not very likely. But yeah, I just have Toxic to whittle things down. Hidden Power Fire, 2-hit KOs Scizor. Shadow Ball, 3-hit KOs Reuniclus, depending on its investments. Scald, 2-hit KOs Arcanine, depending on if it's physically defensive or not. It could 2-hit or 3-hit KO, depending on if it's physically defensive or not. 236, let's cover the EVs now. 236 HP, which is just enough for me to have where I need to have, for me to have the rest of the EVs where I need to have them. 116 defense, 116 special defense, evenly well-rounded with a more physically defensive focus to my investments. Bold Nature, and this is for Scizor, Arcanine, really. Kieran Black, I'm anticipating for him to be mixed, but I've built for it to be on the physical side because I'm carrying Rocky Helmet. So that's that. 12 special attack ensures 2-hit KOs, whereas otherwise Scald or Hidden Power Fire did not 2-hit KO. I believe the chance, and I think the Hidden Power Fire, it depends on his investments. Depending on how much HP EVs he's got in there, determines whether it's a 2-hit KO or not. So that's the thing. Shadow Ball Reuniclus as well. Reuniclus, depending on if it's like Calm Mind or anything like that, then that determines whether or not 3-hit KOs or 2-hit KOs or 4-hit KOs. I don't remember the exact damage put. Arcanine, again, depending on his HP EVs, gets 2-hit KO'd by Scald, or does not at the same time. So this is our Vaporeon set. 12 special attack ensures those rolls, and then 28 speed allows me to outspeed uninvested Exploud by 1 point. Uninvested Exploud, Modest Nature hits 88 max speed, 88 max speed uninvested, and then what? And then I hit 89 with 28 speed. So that's what that is for. And the thing is if he runs like a max speed Exploud, which I don't see why, but if he does that, then I'm gonna get outsped. Obviously, Boom Burst is a 2-hit KO about most of the time, so that's the thing. But that's my thought process on that. The next thing we have in our team this week is #rollout. Our Yachi Berry Dawn fan, Sturdy Ability, Stealth Rock, Rapid Spin, Stone Edge, Knockoff. So let's cover the moves a little bit before we cover it. First of all, the Yachi Berry is there for me to take a hit from the Kieran Black, so that I can click Stone Edge on it and kill it off. Stealth Rocks are Stealth Rocks, Rapid Spin is Hazard Control on my opponent's side. Knockoff is for Reuniclus Gligar. as well as like Arcanine if I needed to do it on that. Getting rid of leftovers on Snorlax, for example, just a few things that's there for. Stealth Rocks would be nice as well because those are chip damage on things. Rabbit Spin is hazard control on my side. He has Gligar with Rabbit Spin, or sorry, Defog on his side, so he's good. Stone Edge, okay. Last time I think I covered Earthquake. Last time I think I held Earthquake, but there are reasons why I have Stone Edge. Stone Edge is a high crit ratio move, first of all. So if Reuniclus is set up, Stone Edge can click. I can click Stone Edge, gamble for a crit. Hopefully, if I get the crit, I should be able to kill it. Stone Edge with 28 attack, Adamant Nature, 2-8 KOs, Arcanine, before an Intimidate drop, by the way. Before an Intimidate drop, 28 attack, Adamant, 2-8 KOs, Arcanine evenly, before an Intimidate drop, and also will kill uninvested HP, like non-bulky Kieran Black. The Terravolt ability negates my Sturdy, so it doesn't really matter which one I ran, but I have Yachi Berry in lieu of that. And then knockoff, of course, is just item utility. But yeah, 252 in HP ensures that his Ice move, after Yachi Berry does a 2-hit KO at the lowest possible conditions, I think it's like 52, 54, or is it something to that effect. I don't remember exactly, but I am able to live an Ice Beam from a mixed Kieran Black or a special Kieran Black that's not spexed with my Yachi Berry intact. And then I'm able to click Stone Edge and kill it off. 28 attack, like I explained, is the reasoning for Stone Edge. Damage output and knockoff 30. Okay, there's another reason why I'm 28 attack Adamant. Because knockoff against a Sub-Calm Mind Reuniclus, physically defensive Reuniclus, Sub-Calm Mind, if he has substitute Calm Mind, knockoff minimum damage is 25.3%, so I will break a substitute every single time depending on his HP EVs. 228 special defense is again to ensure that I can take the hit from the Kieran Black as best as possible. So that's the thought process there. But yeah, so we have especially defensive, offensive Donphan this week. The next thing we have is one of our win conditions behind Mew, potentially being a win condition. And this is what I conceive to be a win condition. It may or may not be, but the way I see it, it could be a win condition. Is Mindy, our Delphox, making a season return after so long. Dazzling Gleam, Flamethrower, Psychic, Shadow Ball, 68 HP, max special attack, 188 speed, timid nature. So let's cover it. Life Orb ensures that I get the 2-hit KOs or 3-hit KOs, whereas otherwise I wouldn't be able to without being choiced, and I don't want to be choiced. So that's the thought process there. Gleam is for Kieran Black, and I think about, and I'll cover my thought process on this a little bit. Flamethrower for Scizor, obviously, Shadow Ball for Reuniclus, and Psychic for everything else. Looking back at it in hindsight, because he and I already had the battle, like I said, I could probably have put Focus Blast on here, because Focus Blast actually would cover more. Over Dazzling Gleam, Focus Blast would cover more. I could have put HP Ice over Psychic or something like that, to cover Gligar, if I wanted to do that. But I just feel like I could have just adjusted the moveset a little bit, because Focus Blast would cover Kieran Black, 2-hit KOs it depending on his HP EVs. Cover Snorlax better. Just a couple examples. Flamethrower for Scizor, obviously. Psychic pretty much murders everything else. It's a stab move of choice. Shadow Ball for Reuniclus. He's just there for Reuniclus, even though he's got a bunch of normal types on his team, which, again, X-Cloud is another one of those options. So, in hindsight, I could have probably adjusted this moveset, and I contemplated over it for a little while. So, I could have thought a little bit harder, and I didn't, so that's my mistake. 68 HP because I had that left over. Gives me an uneven HP number at 159, which is fabulous. Max special attack because I need to hit as hard as I possibly can. And then 188 speed again allows me to outspeed his entire team. His speed tier to break is base 95, which hits 161, timid max speed, jolly max speed, naive max speed. Just speed boosted like speed boosted Jolly Nature, or like speed boosting nature, max speed hits 161. So I hit 162 with my investment, which is just enough to outspeed his entire team, barring choice Scarfers being there. The next thing we have on our team this week is Keating, our Life Orb Jolteon, another Life Orb set. Volt Switch, Thunderbolt, straightforward. Hidden Power Ice for Gligar, Shadow Ball for Ridiculous. Nothing really there. Nothing really significant there. Volt Switch and Thunderbolt. Thunderbolt is the move, like Psychic is, and then Volt Switch is Momentum. Hidden Power Ice for Gligar, should one hit KO it, with or without Eviolite. Shadow Ball, Ridiculous, 2-hit KOs, depending on HP, EVs, and investments. 92 speed allows me to outspeed his entire team and still be modest. 162 there. Max special attack, modest nature, again to hit as hard as possible, and 164 HP EVs because I had that left over and I didn't really know where else to put it. So we have that Life Orb, of course, just to hit with a little extra oomph. There's not really much to this. Next thing we have this week is Chainsaw, our Mega Pinsir, and Aerialate, starting off with Moxie, Quick Attack, Frustration, Close Combat, Stone Edge, 68 HP, Max Attack, 4 Defense, 4 Special Defense, 180 Speed, Jolly Nature. So let's cover this a little bit. Frustration, Quick Attack, straightforward. Don't really need to explain that. Close Combat. Close Combat is there for Snorlax. Close Combat is there for Karen Black. But yeah, so that's really what that's there for. I could have snuck. I might have been able to sneak like knockoff in there somewhere, but I didn't see a way to do that. Stone Edge is there for Arcanine because high crit ratio move. First of all, for Arcanine, 2-hit KOs. Before a 2-hit KOs evenly, I'm pretty sure. After or before an Intimidate, depending on his HP EVs. Because with the Intimidate drop, it's 39 to 40 something percent, I believe. If I remember correctly, I don't remember exactly. Stone Edge is also a high crit ratio move. Stone Edge also 2-hit kills Karen Black evenly. It should 2-hit kill Karen Black evenly, or do about 60% to it if it hits. Again, another way to break Ridiculous if it's set up is Stone Edge crit chances potentially. So yeah, there's really that. 68 HP EVs because that's all I had. Excuse me. That I needed, because otherwise I would have gone to 150 HP instead, and I don't want that. Max attack, just to hit as hard as I possibly can. 4 in each defense, because again, if I put the remaining HP EVs, then I would have been 150 instead of 151. So I wanted to be uneven. And then 188 speed, Jolly Nature, allows me to outspeed his entire team, hitting 162 one more time. So yeah, the last thing on our team is my biggest misprep, in my opinion, is Mew, our captain, our captain, Psychinium Z synchronize with Sludge Bomb, Ice Beam, Shadow Ball, and Psychic. So let me cover this moveset a little bit. Ice Beam is for Kieran Black, of course. Shadow Ball 2-hit KOs Ridiculous, depending on if it's calm-minded or not. Psychic is there because Psychic is there. So there are 2 mistakes on this set. And I'm going to cover them one by one. The first mistake is Sludge Bomb. Because I figured, what if Floor just comes? I want to be covered. I want to have coverage for that. I didn't anticipate Floor just to come, so I don't know why I prepped for it. So that's a mistake on my part. I wish I put Taunt here, and you'll find out why in the battle. That I wish I put Taunt here, but I wish I put Taunt here because it would have saved me so much if I put Taunt here, but I didn't. So hindsight's 2020. Ice Beam is for Gligar, Shadow Ball for Ridiculous, of course, and then Psychic is there for Psychinium Z. Again, I could have put Fightinium Z here with Focus Blast for things like Kieran Black, or Snorlax. Again, Focus Blast covers more than Psychic does, so I could have just put Focus Blast there and put Fightinium Z. But I wanted to use Psychinium Z, I don't know why, so I decided to run Psychinium Z. I wish I didn't, but hindsight's 2020. So what do? 28 HP EVs because I had that left over. 4 in each defense, max special attack, 220 speed with the timid nature allows me to hit 162. Again, outspeeding his entire team. 4 in each defense because I don't want to be 180, I want to be 179. And then max special attack because I want to hit as hard as possible. Mew's happiness ultimately does not matter because it doesn't have a boosting move like return or anything like that. And another thing to note is I considered on Mew, I considered putting knockoff on here somewhere, but ultimately I just decided to put Shadow Ball there in lieu of it, and I regret that in a sense. So that's another one of my regrets. But that is our team, and I apologize that the team builder was a little long. I wanted to cover it in as much detail as I possibly could, but that is our team builder. So now it's time to jump in to the match itself. On my opponent's side, we see Kieran Black, we see Arcanine, we see, hold on, I'm all over, hold on, let's go. I see Kieran Black, I see Gligar, I see Snorlax, I see Exploud, I see Arcanine, I see Reuniclus. That is his team. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, that's his team. On our side, like I said in the team builder, we have our team. I anticipate his Arcanine or Gligar to lead, so I believe I lead off with Vaporeon. And no, I lead off with Donphan to try to get my rocks up, anticipating Gligar to do the same thing, to try to get his rocks up, so that we can kind of just trade exchange. But he actually does the exact same thing he did last time. Even though I contemplated on this for a long time, I almost wanted to just lead with Mindy to start off. But I led with Donphan, and he leads with Kieran Black. So that's a missed start on my part as well. Puts a lot of momentum in his favor. Donphan starts off against the Kieran Black. Terravolt, okay, for those of you who don't know what Terravolt does, Terravolt negates my sturdy ability essentially, so I do die to 1 Ice Beam or 2 because I do have the Yachi Berry in place. So I'm going to make the play into Vaporeon, anticipating his Ice type move, as he goes for just that and reveals Ice Beam. Does about 83%, or does a lot of damage, but he's able to fire off a Z move, and Devastating Drake is going to kill me immediately, because I was like, what? Yeah, so he's going to kill me off with his Z move immediately, because he didn't want this thing to break Arcanine or Gligar, I guess. So this thing dies immediately, and I'm like, okay, well, crap. I would have liked to get a Toxic on you, but okay. Jolteon's going to come in, and I'm going to Volt Switch off, do some chip damage. He's probably bulky at that point. I'm going to Momentum out into Donphan again, as he goes ahead and click Ice Beam here, and I'm like, oh, well, crud. So I live, okay, so I'm able to live because the Yachi Berry allows me to live, but he's outspeeding me anyway, so I'm going to die to Ice Beam on the next turn, and yeah. Into Mega Pinsir because I'm like, okay, let me nuke this right now. He goes into Gligar to chew the hit. I Mega Evolve, and I get off my Close Combat because that was the play. It does nothing because he's Eviolite, and I'm like, okay, well, I don't want to stay in anymore, so I'm going to switch out into Mew to click Ice Beam. He clicks Rock Tomb, which is cute, does about 10%, and I click Ice Beam and I kill the Gligar. So immediately, this is not a 6-0 blowout, which is fabulous. So that's great, that's good. So yeah, the Gligar dies, and the next thing to come in, I believe, is his Exploud. Nope, his Reuniclus immediately. I'm scared of Reuniclus because I might be slower than it. Into Mega Pinsir. He makes a double switch into Exploud, and I'm like, okay, fine. He makes another double switch into Arcanine. Arcanine is Bulky Intimidate because that's the only set you bring against Mega Pinsir. It's Bulky Intimidate. So you see that Close Combat doesn't do much. He gets Leftovers Recovery, and I'm like, okay, well, I can't stay in and take a Fire-type move, so I'm just going to switch out into Jolteon again, as he makes a Toxic play, which is cute, and I'm like, okay, well, what do? He gets Leftovers, he makes a double out to Kieran Black, as I just click Volt Switch here. I click Thunderbolt here, do some chip damage, which is great. I'm like, okay, fine. Shadow Ball here, predicting the Reuniclus, it stays in, and clicks Outrage and obliterates me. So, I click Shadow Ball, aggressively predicting the Reuniclus switch out, because he did that last time, I believe. Looking at it in hindsight, I believe the Thunderbolt would have killed it. Let's do calcs really quick and find out if Thunderbolt would have actually picked it up. Because I still have Jolteon imported. So let's go Jolteon really quick. Because I wanna show you guys this. Jolteon versus Q Black. Because QB, let me see, Kieran Black. So he's Kieran Black, and I'm gonna go ahead and assume it's Sub-Zero Slammer because he was devastating Drake. I'm not worried about the Z move. I'm worried about Thunderbolt. Thunderbolt would actually have done 30 to 35% depending on his investments. So no, okay, so I remember now. Okay, yeah, so I clicked Shadow Ball. I was also, not only was I predicting the Reuniclus to come out if it did do that, but also Shadow Ball was my best play considering the damage output. The Kieran Black takes 30% from my Thunderbolt and takes 35%. Excuse me, 35% from my Shadow Ball. So he took about 34% there. So I'm able to do that, and then I died to the Outrage. So yay. And we know he's Z Crystal, so we don't really have anything else. Mew comes out. I'm like, okay. Psychic's gonna kill it off. I could have clicked Focus Blast or Titanium Z there, or something else. X-Plot's gonna come out, and I don't have a move to hit it with, so I'm gonna switch out. Well, I don't feel safe hitting it. Boom Burst hurts like a fool, and I'm like, okay. Well, back into Arcanine you go. I wish I clicked Stone Edge here, but I didn't. And so I do some more chip damage. He gets Leftovers Recovery. And then I'm like, okay, well, I can't stay in now. So I did, because I was like, okay, this is fine, because my Intimidate's not burned, right? So I'm going to sack this off. One thing to note, that I played this game very, very early in the morning, so that's my fault. So if I'm not playing as best as I should, hindsight's 2020, I know what I needed to do. The Extreme Speed is going to kill me off. And so right now, I am down 6-4, or 2-4. And I'm like, okay, well, this is fine. The Intimidate's not burned. Into me we go. I break my Shattered Psyche because Shattered Psyche is going to break it because with Psychic, it was not in my favor to kill where he was. And so I wanted to go ahead and get rid of him. So I got rid of him with my Z move. And so now it's 3-3 or 3-2. And now he just goes into Reuniclus and he just wins. Because, okay, I told you guys in Team Builder that I really, really, really regret not bringing Taunt. And here is why. Because this fool's going to set up 3 Calm Minds in front of me. Spoilers, by the way. He's going to set up 3 Calm Minds in front of me, click Shadow Ball twice, and win a 3-0. But I'm going to let the rest of it play out. If I had Taunt here, I would have been able to stop him. But at that time, because I don't have Taunt, my decision at that point was, okay, Mew, you need to get off as much damage as possible, and then we can go from there. Thinking about it again in hindsight, I could have brought Never Ending Nightmare Z move against this thing. That's another thing that I could have done, and I wish I did. Or I wish I brought Calm Mind Mew on my side as well. So that would have been a Calm Mind war. We would have each set up to +3. We could have each set up to +3. I would have had Recover, Calm Mind, Focus Blast probably. Recover, Calm Mind, Shadow Ball, Ice Beam, or Focus Blast, or something like that. So we'll Taunt too. So I'd have to have tailored the set a lot. But I should have got Calm Mind set myself, or I should have put Taunt on there so that I could stop him from doing it. So that's the thing. There's a Shadow Ball to get as much damage as I can. He gets Calm Mind again. As the Shadow Ball goes again, he goes Recover here because he knows he needs to do that. Shadow Ball, because at that time I decided, because I don't have Taunt, I decided let me get off as much damage as I can, switch into Mindy, and Mindy can win, essentially, right? That's my thought process. So Calm Mind again, so he's +2 now. Shadow Ball doesn't do much. He recovers again because he's not safe. Shadow Ball again. And you notice how that doesn't do anything at all. He's going to Calm Mind to +3 and he's ready to go. Shadow Ball again because it does some shit damage. This turn he clicks Recover. Excuse me. This turn he clicks Recover. And I believe he clicks Recover here. And I'm like, okay, well, why are you clicking recover? And you'll find out why when I cover it in the team, and cover it in a minute. He clicks recover, he's back to full. I click Shadow Ball, doesn't do much, about 15%, which is fine. He clicks Shadow Ball, and he's able to nuke me at +3, and now Mindy comes in. All right, so why did he click recover there? Because he wanted to be safe, as you can probably read it on the right side of the screen. You could probably read it, but he wanted to be safe in case I crit him. Did I crit him? Well, let's find out. I click Shadow Ball here because I'm like, okay, I can click Shadow Ball and I should be able to kill depending on his investments. And I'll show you guys the calc in a second. Let me see. So I've got Mindy here, our Delphox. So let's see. Mindy, Delphox. Let's go. Ready? Versus Reuniqueless. And this, in case anybody was curious, was the RU Calm Mind Reuniqueless, which is exactly what I was building against. So let's put Shadow Ball here. Not that that matters. He's +3. He's +3 special defense because he's +3 Calm Mind. So let's go +3. So he was at 85% coming out of the previous turn. He was 85%. Right after my Mew did some damage. So he was at about 185 HP. And my Shadow Ball critical hit. My Shadow Ball critical hit does 86 to 101. So where was he at previously? 1 second. Let me see the thing really quick. Yeah, he's at 85%, right? So Shadow Ball comes off. My Shadow Ball comes off because I'm faster. I did in fact crit him. And he lost 76%, which means that was not a standard Rio. That means that was somewhat more specially invested, or it was a calm nature. Let's find out. 79 to 92, which means he was probably more specially defensive invested, but it was a specially defensive variant. Essentially, the point is that I crit him on that turn. And he's gonna say it on the right side is that you had to. He had to because otherwise Reuniqueless gets crit and then Delphox has a chance to win. Although it really wouldn't have won because Psychic would not have won a KO either of his mons, which is why I said in Team Builder I wish I bought Focus Blast instead, because at that point Focus Blast 1 hit or 2 hit KO depending on who they were. If I had killed him, then I would have won. How about that? That's what we said. Is that if I had killed him through the crit, I would have won. But I didn't. So here's the Shadow Ball from his side. It's +3. He's gonna kill me off. And he's gonna secure a +3 differential win over us. So unfortunately, we are no longer in playoff contention. We were in playoff contention until this game. I played like garbage. I want you guys to know I played like garbage. And I do regret it, but you know what? You live and learn. You grow from it. The season is over for us, so the next video from the Alola International you guys will see is a post-season analysis and reflection. Your Texan Clearbodies finished up the season at a 6-7 record with a -9 differential, I believe. But in a sense, it is redemption because I ultimately did not get 6-0 by grounded, which was one of my objectives. Unfortunately, if I had taunt on this set, on the Mew set, I probably, you know what I probably could have done? I probably could have gone taunt, and then Shadow Ball, as he's, well, Shadow Ball, then Psychic, because he probably switches on the next turn. So I could have gotten some work in. So, and then Reuniqueless would have to Calm Mind in front of Delphox, and in that situation, I would have been able to set up in for in that situation, what would have happened? Let's see. So if he's not set up, let's say he's not set up, right? He's not set up at all because taunt prevents him, so he switches out. Shadow Ball to 79%. Shadow Ball to, oh wait, no, that's a crit. 1 second. Crit ignores stat boost. Shadow Ball is 52%. So I would have needed 2 Shadow Balls he would have probably let the life orb wear me out. But if I had gotten the crit just like I did last time, and if it was in that same situation, I would have won the game. I would have won the game because click Shadow Ball on the Reuniclus, kill that in 2 shots depending, or 1 shot if the crit happened, and then Delphox does what? Clicks Psychic, because let's see, because against the Kieran Black is already dead. Kieran Black is already dead. So now let's go against Exploud first. Okay, so against Exploud, level 50, because this is a set I anticipate him to bring. Level 50 Exploud. Psychic 2 KOs. So ultimately, I don't know if I would have won the game, but differential would have been reduced a little bit. So, because the Moonburst hurts like a fool. But if I had Shadow Ball here, or Focus Blast here over Gleam, if I had Focus Blast over Gleam, I would have sealed the deal. Let's see, because I'm going to show you. Because Focus Blast, it doesn't matter what I put it over. Focus Blast does how much? Focus Blast does 99 to 117. Alright. And then against his Snorlax, next hit. Against the Snorlax, let me see. If I can find mouse, let's see. Against the Snorlax. Standard Snorlax. Not really much that I'm anticipating out of him. He might have Crunch on there. Or Earthquake. Focus Blast is 45 to 53. So I would have had to have gotten a crit or something like that. So I probably wouldn't have won the game, but I would have definitely bought it a lot closer if I had Focus Blast and had played with Taunt Mew instead. So you live and learn. It is what it is. It was a good game regardless. GG's to Grounded. He does pick up the win. He does move on to playoffs. We do not. I wasn't anticipating to, but I wanted to try as hard as possible. But you know what? I didn't try very hard in this game. I tried, okay, but I didn't prep correctly. And I realized that, in hindsight, I didn't prep very well. So, you live and learn. I learned. I'm able to move on from it. We are coming back for Season 3, but I'll talk more about that in an update video coming very, very soon. But yeah, with all that being said, that ends our Alola International Season 2. Unfortunately, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please leave a like. I do apologize that this video is a little long, but I wanted to go into detail about this game because it was such a pivotal game. I wanted to cover it in as much detail as possible, cover every situation, things like that. So I did just that. But with all that being said, with the end of the Alola International Season 2, my name is Nidoqueens, and until Season 3, I'm out of here, y'all. Bye.